Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's a family house here in the world of Sulani, which is the world that we got with the Island Living expansion pack. And today I am actually building something for my save file, which I am very excited about because for some time now I've kind of struggled with inspiration, and especially when it came to my save, and I definitely don't want to kind of force anything when it comes to my save file. So I've just been slowly working at it since I've done my first release, because I am hoping to have another release out pretty soon, especially before I take my break in January. But yeah, thanks to this Reshade that I've been using, I have this whole like newfound inspiration, and it's very exciting for me, especially for somebody that builds all the time. It's very frustrating when you just don't really feel like you have that many good ideas. I mean, I have ideas and I think some of them are good, but executing them sometimes is just really difficult. But recently I've just found it a little bit easier, and yeah, it makes me really happy. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the builds. Hopefully you guys enjoy this build. I do have another one coming up from my save file in Windenburg in the downtown, the old downtown area. I really need to work on the waterfront area. I have like 2 builds. I was gonna say 1, but I did renovate the park. It's on the gallery if you don't have my save and would like to play in that build. It's just like the most simple renovation of the park. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Like I said, I'm building here in Sulani. As you can see, I'm trying to make a very tropical home. I was looking at Pinterest for inspiration, and I found some homes that I really like, and this is what I came up with. It's not like an exact replica of anyone, but you know, it's kind of close to some of them, I guess. Pinterest is like always my best friend when it comes to building, especially in styles that I'm not super familiar with. And Sulani is definitely one of them. It's very similar to Hawaii. I have been to Hawaii a couple of times, but not, I think twice. I've been to Hawaii twice. Once when I was 16, and then once when I was, I don't know, 22, I think is how old I was. So it's been a while, but yeah, so anyways, I don't have much real life experience with that area, and so Pinterest is very helpful. And I do get questions sometimes about like finding inspiration and getting build ideas. Pinterest is always the best place to go. So anyways, so the household that lives here, there is a pre-made house that, or pre-made household that lives here that came with the expansion pack, and they are the Hoapili family. I'm not saying that correctly, so I do apologize. But they consist of a grandmother and a granddaughter, and the grandmother is an elder and then the granddaughter is a young adult. And it says that the elder Sim, her name is Hila, I think is how you say her name. It says she's unemployed, but I'm assuming she's probably unemployed because she's retired. I think for my save file I'll probably put her in her career, because I really don't like it when townies like start working at food stalls or restaurants when they're supposed to be, I don't know, something else. And it says she has an aspiration to be a freelance botanist, so I'll probably put her in some sort of a gardening career. If we have a freelance botanist career, then I'll have her do that, but I'm not exactly sure. She has the goofy walk style. I might change that for my save file. I don't know. Let me know if I should keep it. And her traits are a child of the islands. She's erratic, hot-headed, and she has the bonus trait of being a collector because of her aspiration. And she has level 6 in the cooking skill and level 5 gardening. So that was like my main thing for this house, was to focus on gardening. So I wanted there to be very lush landscaping, not only for her having like a high gardening skill and an aspiration to be a gardener, but also just like the world. It suits the world to be very lush and overgrown. But I also make like this little gardening room where I use the some gardening clutter, and then also the flower arranging table, and then I do a garden on the side of the house, which I think is really pretty and, I don't know, really nice to have. And so I was really happy about that. And then her granddaughter is Leah. I think that's how you say it. And like I said, she's a young adult. She is a writer level 4, so she's a very good writer. Did I not give her a desk in her room? Maybe I should have given her a desk. Well, there is like a proper computer desk in the house, but it's more of like in a shared family area, which I think she could use that. She probably actually has a laptop that she writes on, so that's definitely a possibility too. But either way, she wants to be a Renaissance sim, so that aspiration means they just want to be good at lots of different types of things. And she has the traits to be a bookworm, gloomy, and a perfectionist. And so I definitely put like a lot of books around the entire house, not just in her room, but the whole house in general. And she has level 3 of the guitar skill and level 3 of the writing skill. And so I did give her a guitar in her room, and I also made like a little reading corner, which I thought was really cute. And it was kind of hard not to give her a teen feeling room. I tried not to, so hopefully I accomplished that. But we'll see when we get to it. You guys can let me know. But for some reason, I kept forgetting that she was a young adult, and I was thinking she was a teen the whole time. So yeah, if it feels a bit teen-ish, then that's why. But anyways, here you can see I am working on the shape of the build, just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the back of the house. It was kind of a struggle. It ends up being a very symmetrical house. The back of the house is, I think, identical to the front of the house, except for like the pathways I think are a little bit different. I used some terrain manipulation along with the floor tool to create the kind of like step level to the sidewalk. I think it actually worked pretty well. I've seen some people do this on different builds from like screenshots on Twitter and stuff and some YouTube videos, and I've always wanted to try it for myself, and thankfully I finally did, and it actually worked out so well here. And it's pretty easy to do, so yeah, I was really happy about that. And I think the shape has basically came together. I do change up a few things, like some of the windows. I was trying to use those like open windows that we got from, I think it was the Eco Lifestyle Pack? I think it was. I leave them there in the front of the house because they're really pretty, and oh no, I don't leave them. I was going to leave them because they're so pretty, but it made the room, because that's where the dining room ends up being, it makes it feel very closed and kind of claustrophobic, and so I don't keep them, and I don't keep them in the rest of the house either. So yeah, I wanted to use them though because they're really pretty, and I don't think I've used them in a build, and I think it actually suit this build really nicely when you're looking at exterior wise, but interior wise, I don't know. It didn't quite work, but either way, that's not that interesting. Here you can see I'm working on the landscaping. I used a combination of the build and buy plants in combination with some from the live edit objects. I didn't want to use too many of the live edit objects plants because I wanted to force the Sims to walk a certain way. And some of those I think they can walk through. And I think in the regular build and buy, they won't. I might be wrong about that, but that was my reasoning behind it. And looking back, I probably should have left that little pond. I thought it'd be really cute to like put sharks in there or something. But I wasn't really sure if it like fit the style of the world. I was really wanting a swatch with black rocks because then it probably would have looked like perfect. But thinking about it, I wonder if I could have like covered them up with some rocks from like the debug menu that match the rocks in this world. And then maybe that would have, I don't know, made it look like it belonged a little bit more. I don't know, maybe I could have done that, but then it probably wouldn't have worked. I don't know. I would suggest placing it there if you thought it looked pretty, because I think it does, but I don't place it back. But anyways, here you can see I'm working on the floor plan. The floor plan actually came together pretty quickly. I was really happy about that, and I really like the floor plan because it's similar, I think, to some of my floor plans, but it felt totally different, and the interior style is totally different than a lot of my builds because I've only built here in Sulani. I mean, I built here quite a bit, but compared to other worlds, I feel like not really that much, especially with bigger homes. I've built a lot more like smaller homes and homes on the water. And so this just kind of felt pretty refreshing. And the interior was so much fun to do. It's way nicer than I was originally planning. I was planning on making it look like a more of an older home, like a bit more shabbier, not dirty or anything, just older, but it didn't quite work out that way because the items I wanted to use and like the color swatches I wanted to use just look really nice and clean and like brand new, so kind of doesn't have that effect. But either way, I still really like it, especially this kitchen. I tried to add like a ton of clutter around to make it feel fully lived in, especially since the grandmother is a really good cook. I thought it would be important for her to have like a really big kitchen and lots of space, lots of food, basically lots of items to use to cook all of her meals and stuff like that. So tried to make sure it was fully decorated. And I thought this tile from Jungle Adventure was like really pretty with the color of these cabinets and like the yellow stove and refrigerator. Was very happy about that color combination, and really happy that I started with the kitchen, because I'm not sure if I would have decorated the whole house the way I did if I didn't. So yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty happy about that. But here I'm trying to add this really pretty, I'm not sure what you call this, kind of like a pergola type thing with drapes or curtains around it. I really wanted to use it, but unfortunately the proportions didn't quite work for that side of the house, so I ended up getting rid of it. But over there on that side of the house is where the garden ends up being, and I think it's super cute. But here I'm just going through and finding some extra clutter to place around the kitchen. Like I said earlier, I just wanted it to be very cluttered and lived in, and I've been absolutely loving the debug items that came in the Eco Lifestyle pack. I don't know why I always struggle like recalling the name of that pack. It's like the hardest one for me. But here you can see I did not even touch the upstairs when I was working out the floor plan for the downstairs. Thankfully, it worked out really well and it wasn't difficult to plan the floor plan. I don't know what I was thinking, because it's never a good idea to start decorating or finish the landscaping before you finish the floor plan, and I am very guilty of making at least the landscaping mistake a ton of times, and I think the interior mistake I've only done like this time and maybe one other time, so I'm kind of surprised that I did it, but thankfully it worked out, and I really only had to, I didn't really even have to adjust anything. There I was just adding a bathroom because I thought it would be kind of annoying to only have the bathrooms on the second floor. And that extra room, I really wasn't sure what I should do with it. But thankfully I got the idea of making it more of like a mud room. So I put the washer and dryer in there. I have like a little gardening corner, and then the downstairs bathroom's in there as well. And it's super cute. So I'm happy that it worked out. But here you can see I'm working on the dining room. And I placed the dining table early on just to make sure that this room wasn't going to be like an awkward size for a dining table. And I think it actually works out really well, because there's still lots of space for your Sims to walk around the table and, I don't know, do other interactions and basically get to everything, get to the kitchen. And I also really love the archway leading into the kitchen. I haven't used that archway hardly at all, maybe once, maybe twice. Twice is a stretch since the pack was released. But thankfully here it worked out so well, and it's really pretty. I wish it was the same wood color as the archways that I'm using from Jungle Adventure, but they're not quite the same. I tried my best to make the wood tones look cohesive without all matching, because that's pretty much impossible using as many packs as I am using, so kind of unfortunate, but I think I made it work. But anyways, here I'm just adding some decorations around the dining table. Like I said, I do get rid of these windows. Unfortunately, I think they're so pretty, and I feel like the elder in this house would really like these windows. It just, for me, it felt a bit claustrophobic in here because you can't see through them enough. They're just kind of, I don't know, it just felt so closed off. So I get rid of them. Kind of sad about it, as you guys can probably tell, but it just looks so much better being open to the outside a little bit more. You can see the plants and the nature, and you just feel, it just feels more like it's appropriate for this world, at least in my opinion. So that's why I changed it, but I'm not excited about it. Well, I mean, I'm not mad about it because I still think it looks good. So either way, I'll stop talking about it now. Here is where the living room is. At first, I was really worried that this living room was not going to work out because it's so long and narrow. And usually I can't stand long and narrow living rooms. At any time they happen in my floor plans, I'm so frustrated with them. and never like 100% happy. But this time I think it actually worked out so nicely. And I think most of that has to do with the placement of the archways and the couch. Like it just felt very balanced. And also those bookcases from Realm of Magic match a lot of the wood tones that I'm using like perfectly. And they filled in that side of the room really nicely. So I was really happy about that. And then, yeah, other than that, I just put that light on the table, and then I also gave them that smaller TV because I didn't think they'd have like a big, fancy, modern TV. Like I don't think the elder in this household would be too concerned about watching a lot of TV, and even the granddaughter as well. And speaking of that, I'm not exactly sure if it's her actual granddaughter because in the description I was reading on the Sims community info, it says that she like adopted her, like took her like under her wing. So maybe they're not actually related. I don't know. But either way, I'll continue calling her grandmother and granddaughter. But I thought I would mention it in case you guys maybe have played with this family. Maybe you have more of a detailed description on this household. But like I've been planning on doing, for my save file, I will give all of the Sims proper backstories. It's something I'm definitely slacking on, but I'm hoping to have some of it done for the next release of my save file. I'm not going to promise anything because, you know, I don't want to make a promise I can't keep, but that is my plan and something I would like to do. But anyways, here I'm moving on to this mudroom area that I was talking about. So there's the bathroom, the washer and dryer. I put some clutter around, and then of course some gardening decor items. I sized down this shelf that came with the Eco Lifestyle pack because it was a bit big, but it actually fit next to the door, sized down really nicely. And then there's also this flower arranging table, and then I just put like extra pots around. I put some like gardening clutter and just tried to make it feel like this space is really used and like there's lots of different objects and stuff that would kind of be good for a sim who's into gardening. And I think it actually looks really cute, and I'm really happy with this space because at first when I made this room I was like, what am I going to do with this extra space? Is it going to be like an office or like another living room type space, or I don't know. I really didn't have a good plan for it, but once I thought about the personalities and thought about making this type of room, I was like, okay, absolutely makes perfect sense to me. And I was happy to be able to include the washer and dryer because I thought about just putting a clothesline outside, and I don't think I ended up including a clothesline, which I think I might add one. Maybe I'll just use the debug one for decoration, the one in the live edit objects that you can see from this pack. It has like the clothes on it. It's so adorable, and it has like really cute clothes on it. I might use that one just as like decor, but I really want to have a washer and dryer because I want all of my like houses for my save to have a space for laundry, and yeah, it actually worked out, so I was really happy about that. But here I wanted to have the staircase open a little bit to the downstairs. It's not like full on like open and grand, but it's open a little bit, so I did have to adjust the roof. And over here it wasn't too big of a deal, but I knew on the other side I wasn't going to be able to fix it. So I did have to close off this room, but then I got an excuse to use this archway again. And so I wasn't mad about it because that archway is, yeah, so pretty, like I said. But here is going to be the second bathroom in the build. There ends up not being a third bathroom. I was trying to squeeze in an ensuite bathroom to the grandmother's room, but yeah, it kind of made the room feel like it was going to be too crowded, so I ended up not doing it. And I think that's totally fine. I think it's fine for them to share a bathroom. I mean, it's not like a big family, so it's not that big of a deal. You could definitely fit a really large family in here if you would like to, because the extra space where I put that archway is kind of like another area that I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. But I ended up making like a hangout area with a computer desk and like a fish tank, and it's basically just like a bonus room, which I think is really nice, but you could easily turn that into another bedroom or probably even 2 bedrooms. You just might want to switch up the doors leading to the balcony on the outside, but either way, I think you can make it work. And there's also a couple of closets in the hallway, which I thought was like a really nice use of space because well, they fill in the space and they're also useful. And then here I'm using this bookcase again that came from Realm of Magic just to fill in the hallway a little bit. But this is the extra room that I was talking about, so you could easily turn this into a bedroom if you would like to. But I really like it. It's just like a nice kind of open office space, I think you could call it. But yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I think the colors are super pretty. Well, I mean, it's the same color scheme that I use throughout the rest of the build, so it's not that surprising. But I absolutely adore this like red wood color. I think it's super pretty, and I think it's very appropriate for this world. And so many items actually come in some sort of a reddish wood tone, and I don't know, it looks so like cohesive and pretty to me. Hopefully you guys agree, but if not, I think it's probably pretty easy to switch up the colors, hopefully, but I don't know, hopefully you guys like it. But over here I have the computer desk. Oh, and I got a chance to use this really pretty shelf that we got with Island Living. I haven't used it too many times. I've used it maybe a couple of times. Really, I think only in this world and not anywhere else, but it's a really nice shelf, and I find some nice decor to put on it, which I thought was a nice way just to add some extra decoration and clutter it up a little bit. And I sized down this statue that I just put on the bottom. Hopefully it doesn't block your Sims from interacting with anything. I still need to play test with this house a little bit more, but I don't think it should. I don't know, it's quite large and I did size it down a lot, so we'll see. If it's replaced with anything, then that's why. But over here is going to be the grandmother's room, and then the long room is going to be the granddaughter's room. And so you'll probably notice, like I said earlier, about giving it like a teenager vibe. I don't know if it does. You guys will have to let me know. Does it feel like a teenager's room, or does it feel like a young adult's room? I feel like maybe it looks like a young adult's room, like a teenager's room who just aged up to a young adult. I think that makes sense. So they're newly a young adult. That could be a possibility, because I think she looks really young. But either way, here I'm decorating the grandmother's room, trying to figure out the furniture and make the room feel fully decorated. It felt a bit awkward on this wall. I wasn't sure how to lay out the furniture, but I ended up putting another closet in here. So there's like so many closets in this build, because there's 2 in the hallways and then 1 in each of the bedrooms. There's 4 closets, but you know, at least you can use them, I guess. But they fill in the space really nicely. And then I also used this dresser that came with Island Living, and I thought it was really pretty, and I just cluttered it up with a bunch of decorations, and then I put some plants around, and I thought that was really pretty. And then, yeah, I think this is basically it for her room. I just put a couple of decorations up on the walls, like this mirror, and then these really nice flower hangings. I forget exactly which pack those came with, but they're really nice. And then over here is the granddaughter's room. So in her room, like I mentioned, I wanted to have basically things that reflected her skills. The only thing I didn't include was a place for her to write, but I think she could totally have a laptop and then go sit at the dining table, or go to, I don't know, a library or a restaurant or a cafe or something and write. I think that's totally a possibility. But I did want her to have a reading corner with her guitar, so I made that little area over by the closet, which I think is really nice. And I also ended up giving her a larger bed because I think when I placed the smaller bed, I was thinking more of a teenager, and I was like, well, maybe she would like to have a full-size bed, and then if she ends up dating somebody, then they could maybe stay the night or something like that. But here I'm just shuffling things around, trying to see if there's a better layout of the furniture. But I liked the reading corner, so I left it alone. And then I think I ended up swapping out this dresser for another bookcase, which might be kind of, I don't know, repetitive and not necessary, but that dresser was taking up too much space and I wanted a side table right here. So I don't know, she does love to write and she likes to read, you know, she's a bookworm, so I think it's pretty appropriate. So I'm not too bothered by it, and she does have the walk-in closet, so I guess she doesn't really need a dresser, but either way, that's not very interesting or important, I guess. But here I'm just adding a couple of curtains, and then I do add some skateboards on the wall, and then just like one other decoration, and then that's it for her room. I think it looks really nice, and looking back, it's not as teenagery as I thought it was feeling. I think it does look more like a young adult's room. Yes, I think it does. But there I put a yoga mat on the balcony leading into the grandmother's room. I thought it'd be really nice for her to be able to like wake up in the morning and go out to her balcony and do some yoga and like look out at the pretty jungle. At least that's what I would like to do. If I lived in this build, or if I lived in this world, I would love to have a spot like that. It'd be so kind of magical in a way. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it just seems so nice in my opinion. And then on the back balcony that leads into that office space, I put a Don't Wake the Llama table, which I thought was pretty appropriate, I think, for that space, and it makes it more of like a social area. And then I also have a couple of lounge chairs that I placed on the front sort of porch area, and then a seating area back here. And then I also placed a chess table because I didn't think another dining area would be necessary since there's already one on the other side, and I didn't want it to be too repetitive. And then I continue with the landscaping that I started earlier. When I went to go work on the floor plan, I didn't really plan on decorating the entire build, but that's just kind of how it worked out. So yeah, doing the landscaping now, but I really love it. It's so lush and colorful, and it feels like it belongs in this world, or at least I feel like it does, and so it makes me very happy. And then here is where I add the garden space. You won't see me adding too many of the plants. I think only like a few plants in the garden, but it's fully planted or whatever you call that. There's lots of different plants in there, which I thought was really nice. I tried to pick ones that I thought were appropriate for this world, and then just some like vegetables and herbs and stuff. And then over here is the fire pit, and then I also pulled out this fish rack from the debug menu. I thought this was really nice. And then I have a bench over by those plants, which I thought was really pretty. And I also add some more lava rocks as like a pathway leading to the fire pit, which I also thought was really pretty. And then I just tried to, basically make the landscaping feel like it was natural. Tried looking at the surroundings, trying to make it feel like it belonged here, and I think it actually worked out pretty well. But here I'm just adding some extra like gardening clutter and a few plants, and then I think the final few touches to the landscaping, and then we're already onto the screenshot. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this build for my save file and for the Hoapili family. Again, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, so please forgive me. But either way, I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!